What up, physical media lovers? I'm seeing the Backrooms movie tonight, and I'm so excited. I'm about to get going. So, in a minute, you will see my review. And also, I am going physical media hunting. So, expect to see a separate video about that. Anyway, see you in a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Physical Media Lovers. And this is my first long-form review for a movie. And as you just saw in the intro, I went to go see Backrooms, and yeah. What people are saying about this movie, like about how freaky and cool it is, I have to agree. This is a phenomenal movie. I see a lot of people complaining about, but I don't know why, dude. It's really good. Like, from what I watched. I gotta know what other people are watching, because I like the movie. Now, I thought the reason why I'm doing a full, like, video review is because I did see of how much was in this movie, and I was like, I have to do both spoiler-free and spoiler, because if people want to watch this and be like, should I go see this? They get spoiler-free. But if they already seen it and they want to see someone else talk about it, spoiler. So, good thing is, I will split this video into 2 parts, spoiler-free and spoiler. Timestamps are in the description. And, yeah, here we go. So, the Backrooms. The Backrooms originated from an internet legend, from an old old photo that popped up, and then 16-year-old Kane Parsons took that and ran with it. He made a whole lore, like his version of the Backrooms, and then he made these like shorts and these really creepy shorts. I've seen the first one definitely, and it's very interesting. And then our people making their games and stuff and building upon the lore is awesome. And yeah. And then when I first heard about this movie years ago, I was like, that will be interesting. And then it was years until we actually got an update, like, is this film still happening? And then when we finally got, like, trailers and posters, I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. So, yeah, going into it, I had some pretty, reasonable expectations. A little high, because I did see some reviews on it where people were saying, this is a really good movie. And then I saw some mixed reviews, like, And, okay, so talking about my spoiler-free thoughts, this film was trippy. Okay, so if you don't know, the basic plot of the film is, furniture owner, Clark, he owns, his own furniture store, and weird things keep happening, like the power keeps turning off, and then one day he goes down and he finds this area, this secret area that he goes into, and he gets transported into the Backrooms. From on, he also tells his therapist about it, Mary, and she first doesn't believe him, but then goes in for herself. And a lot of weird things keep happening, and Clark becomes obsessed with it. And when the movie first started, I was like, this is interesting. The movie began with some sort of found footage scene, and it was like very eerie and stuff. Kind of like all the Kane Parsons shorts. And as the film kept going, there's a lot of confusing scenes. There's some scenes in the film that are confusing at times. But as you watch, you do understand it a little more. There were some scenes that I wish were explained more, but that's just personal nitpick. And then like everything else, and how other things were explored. I do notice there's like a lot of metaphors, and then they don't fully explain what the Backrooms is, but they give you a version of it. They give you like what the Backrooms could be. Like, and there's like little lines, little hints to it, but they don't tell you what it is, which gives you room to speculate. And trust me, I got some theories that I will give in the second part of this video. And yeah, as I kept watching, I still had some answers, questions, and the film got really like a little dark near the end. Like, it just got really weird from then on. And like really creepy at times, you know. And like it did stuff with the main characters that I was really interested in. There was like this one scene that I won't go too much into that I heard some people weren't like the biggest fan of it, but I like it. I think it's a really interesting scene. I do agree with some people that the film goes on a bit near the end where that stuff could have been saved for something else, and it doesn't really need to have the whole ending that did. But parts of the ending I like, and then there was like a scene in the middle of the film where they did more found footage stuff, but I won't get into that just yet. And yeah, really eerie, like, and also my theater was packed, so it was crazy seeing all these people in there, like, just everyone reacting to it and stuff. So yeah, those are my basic thoughts. It's a really interesting movie, and I really like it. Okay, now we're moving on to spoiler territory. Spoiler alert for this next part. Okay, so yeah, time to talk about spoilers. Yeah, let's talk about it. So, I'm just gonna go from certain parts of the film. So, the beginning of the film starts off with, like what I was saying earlier, like a found footage type. It looked like one of Kane Pixel's shorts, and how it went on like that. And then, like, stuff like an entity, like, scaring him, and then, yeah. It was like this worker thing, this worker guy, and they explain more later. I will get to that in a sec. And yeah, that's how the movie begins. And then we get like this really weird scene that I still don't know how to feel about it, where when you watch the movie, you now understand that's the young version of one of our main characters, Mary, the therapist, and she puts her hand on like the pavement, and she slowly sinks in. And yeah, it's very interesting. And then she kept a part throughout the film of like the cement with her hand in it, like her hand print. And I was like, what? But I was like, really like, what? Like, why she had that? How did she get that? We don't really get any answers, which I am sad about. I really wanted to know more about that. And okay, let's get into the main character, Clark. Like, we can see that he's going to therapy. He's having all these, like, issues and stuff. Like, his wife kicked him out of the house. And then, like, we get scenes of him filming his commercial. And, yeah, okay, that was interesting. We saw more of that. And then, like, once he got into the Backrooms, I was like, ooh. Like, we had this whole prolonged scene of him walking throughout the Backrooms. He was like, what is this place? I do think the character was a little stupid for doing some certain things. Like, walking in there, kept going instead of stopping and turning around. He gets so far that once he gets into this little part, he hears a monster and he gets out as soon as he can, and yeah. But then, like, we flash forward a bit where it seemed like he's been diving more into this. He has drawings and different stuff like that. And then he tells his therapist, Mary, but she does not believe him at all. Like, yeah. And so, what happens is Clark recruits his assistant manager of the store, Kat, yes, Kat, and her boyfriend, who has access to a camera. And so, what they do is they go into the back rooms, and then they like walk into it, and then this entire part of the film is entirely found footage. Like, we see this entire thing where they walk into back rooms. Kat and her boyfriend are like, what is this? Oh my god. You know? And then, yeah, like, it was really interesting. It was really cool. And then, we see them keep going through it. They're like, oh my god, what is that? What is that? What's that? And then we get to this one really creepy scene. It's really interesting. Where basically what happens next is, basically they tie a rope onto the cameraman, Kat's boyfriend, and he goes into this hole, and as he drops in, he dives into this room with piles of dirty laundry. Oh, really eerie stuff. It's really, really creepy, you know? And I was creeped out by it, definitely. And then as he's going around with the camera, we see this one pile where it had like a body in it, but it wasn't moving. Like, you know, it was alive, I think. Because in this movie, there's these things called misremembered people, right? And these misremembered people are like, I don't know, they're like things that were in the back rooms or something like that, and then they like, Backrooms creates a version of them, but misremembers them. Like, most of their body is normal, except like they have like multiple eyes, their face is all squished. It's really interesting, and they're alive, but they don't feel anything. Like, by the end of the film, we see the character Mary, and she's out of the back rooms, but there's a version of her, the misremember version, slumped over, weird eyes and stuff. It was creepy. Anyway, stuff happens with the boyfriend and Kat, and they're now gone. And then Clark, we see one final scene of him like just trying to find Kat, and then we see something pick up the camera, and he looks behind him. Oh my god! And then it cuts, and then for a good scene of it now, for a good little chunk of it, we see the therapist trying to find out where Clark is. She goes to a store. She goes in the back rooms. Just wanted to get that out of the way so we go really quick. And she goes throughout it, and she's so creeped out. Like, what? And then she finds this one room with drawings, and this one drawing of this ominous figure wearing a pirate hat. I will get into that in a second. And then boom, we see Clark. Clark is there. He is very, yeah. He's like very like, what is going on? Or he actually knows what's going on, kind of. I don't think he fully gets it. Boom. She gets knocked out. Clark takes her to this area that looks like his old house. And behind him is the misremembered version of his wife. And beside him is another misremembered guy and stuff. And then we get the dinner scene. This dinner scene is basically where Clark talks about where he realizes that this Backrooms place makes him feel comfortable. It's where he actually feels safe. Because what I realized is earlier in the film, Clark said, Clark said, I feel like I hurt everyone around me. That's why I'm alone. And then and then basically he feels comfortable in this place because no one has feelings in the backrooms, and so he can't hurt anyone. It is so crazy, and honestly a really interesting scene. It goes on for a bit. Some pretty eerie stuff happens, and then boom, this monster comes in. This entity, Pirate Clark. It's a version of Clark, but it's wearing a pirate costume that was the mascot of his store. It's very tall and lanky, and then it goes after Clark, and then it goes after Mary. She runs away from it, and we get this amazing chase sequence where she goes around, and we then see these misremembered versions of all the places that Clark has been. Like, we see Kat's apartment, we see all these other places that he's been. We see his store. It's so creepy. And I love it. I really do like this movie. I don't know why some people are hating on it. And yeah, as this chase sequence goes on, she finds this little narrow hallway. She goes in it and she runs into the dude in hazmat suit. These dudes, and they save her. And yeah, she gets out, and then boom, we get. And I feel like the movie could have ended around there, but they kept going. And this scene is interesting, but I heard some people say it could have been something like in another movie, and I do agree. So as it went on, as it goes on, we see her being interviewed by this guy. She gets interviewed by a bunch of different people. Not a bunch of different people, sorry. She gets interviewed by this one guy, and she tells what this place is that they've been studying, the Backrooms, and then so she goes on to tell him a little bit about it, and a little small talk between them. Then we get scenes of the misremembered version of Mary and our places in the Backrooms and our stuff. Movie ends. And sorry if I went into a big ass recap right there. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. And yeah, so basically I really, really like it. I do think it's a really good movie. I would definitely watch it again. I want to get it on DVD whenever it comes out on that, because I think that'd be a really cool film to have in the collection. And I like a bunch of other things about the film, and the direction they took it in. The acting is amazing. And yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the movie down below. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.